Babes, I am literally staring at my screen right now, and I am struggling, like legitimately struggling to process the absolute unmitigated audacity of the men we just watched.
Oh, it is staggering. I mean, when you sit back and really look at the sheer terrifying delusion on display tonight, you have to ask yourself how we even got here.
Right. It is a fascinating, horrifying psychological study.
It totally is. I was saying to myself, if you were to construct a sociological experiment designed specifically to test the absolute lower limits of human behavior, you would build exactly what we just witnessed.
Honestly, yes.
It's like they all convened in the dressing room, looked at each other, and just collectively agreed to execute a masterclass in covert narcissism and gaslighting.
Well, welcome back to the Kiki Snark Squad. We love you, we see you, and babes, we are so incredibly happy you are here with us tonight.
So happy. Grab a drink, babes, because the villa has been working major overtime, and we have a lot to get through.
We really do. Today, we are taking this ultimate reality TV case study and breaking down all the delusion, the game theory, and the romance. Because I still believe in the romance, bestie.
Well, someone has to, I guess.
Um,
Our mission today is to figure out who is actually playing for love and who is mathematically calculating their way to a $100,000 payout.
I have the receipts, and I also have a very strong drink. We are currently sipping on frozen mango mojitos. And let me tell you, they are hitting every single necessary note tonight to calm my nervous system.
They are dangerously good and, honestly, entirely necessary. Like, when you analyze the level of manipulation happening on our screens, you literally need a frozen cocktail just to regulate your blood pressure.
You really do. I feel my shoulders dropping already.
I mean, I am one sip away from booking a highly ill-advised, totally spontaneous tropical flight to Fiji. I will bypass security, march directly into that villa, and give a mandatory seminar on emotional intelligence.
Oh my God, I would fully fund that trip. I would carry your luggage. But before we get into the heavy psychological lifting of tonight's recap, we owe the Snark Squad a quick life update.
We do.
Because we have officially started settling into our new apartments. We are finally in the exact same building, just different units.
Different units, technically, yes.
Right. And you would think we are mature, practicing medical professionals, but we essentially devolved into a sitcom.
You say settling in, but I really don't think you actually live in your apartment. I mean, I think your apartment is just a storage unit for your shoes because you are constantly in my living room.
Hey, I am building community.
I don't think the audience understands the level of unannounced knocking happening at all hours. You treat my kitchen like a convenience store, bestie, borrowing ingredients instead of engaging in the basic adult task of grocery shopping.
Listen, okay, whatever. We're currently trying to plan 3 different movie nights simultaneously, and half of my moving boxes are still completely taped shut. My priorities are strictly focused on our debriefing sessions.
And yet, despite your boxes being packed, somehow my apartment has mysteriously become the designated hoarding zone for all the premium snacks.
I am providing for us.
Babes, I opened my pantry yesterday to look for my expensive almonds, and it is fully colonized by your favorite jalapeno chips. It is a hostile takeover of my kitchen real estate.
I am just preemptively stocking the environment for when we need comfort food. Speaking of which, you know exactly how exhausted we both were after work today.
Oh, completely drained.
For those of you listening who don't know, we are both practicing dentists at different clinics, and today was an absolute gauntlet. Like, when you spend 8 hours fixing actual physical root canals, you do not have the mental bandwidth to come home and cook a highly nutritious meal.
No, absolutely not. You need pure, unadulterated comfort. So we immediately bypassed the grocery store and went straight for Summer Smash burgers and truffle fries.
And bestie, they genuinely salvaged my entire mood.
This is where we have genuine friction in our relationship, though, because I will maintain with empirical certainty that truffle fries are the elite tier of the potato hierarchy.
Oh, here we go.
They are. They elevate the fry from a side dish to a full culinary experience. It is the umami, it is the earthiness, it is the sophistication.
And I am playfully but firmly pushing back on this agenda. I think truffle fries are just a psychological trick restaurants play to charge you an extra $6.
You just don't appreciate the nuanced flavor profile.
Give me a classic, perfectly salted, golden crisp French fry any day of the week. But I will easily concede that a summer smash burger is the ultimate cure for clinical exhaustion.
When they get the edges lacy and crispy.
Yes. And the cheese is perfectly melted into the patty. It literally heals the soul.
It does. But since we're talking about differing tastes, we have to talk about the absolute clash happening with our interior design choices right now.
It is so funny how different we are.
Because as we unpack, it is becoming wildly apparent that our apartments belong in two entirely different parallel universes.
I am curating a very specific intentional vibe. My entire vision is cozy, neutral, spa-like sanctuary. Like, when you walk through my front door, I want your cortisol levels to immediately plummet.
Which is basically a waiting room.
No, we are talking warm creams, soft beiges, textured boucle fabrics, ambient sunlight. I want it to feel like a retreat from the chaos of the world.
And my vision is an environment where you actually feel a pulse. I am going for moody, dramatic lighting, bold, oversized statement artwork, deep emerald greens and rich velvets.
It's very intense.
I am designing a trendy, slightly intimidating speak-easy cocktail lounge where deep, dark secrets are shared over expensive bourbon. And I guarantee that if we pulled the Snark squad right now, they would absolutely prefer to hang out in my apartment for a Friday night kiki.
Oh, please. The world is chaotic enough. They want to relax on my boucle sofa and not feel like they have to wear a blazer and order bottle service in your living room.
We'll let the babes decide.
But babes, honestly, enough about our own interior choices. We need to get into these islanders because emotionally, psychologically, and fundamentally, they are in desperate need of a gut renovation. Down to the absolute studs.
Let's bring in the heavy machinery, bestie, because the architecture of these relationships is crumbling.
So let's set the stage with the immediate aftermath of the bombshells returning. For anyone who might be new to the specific lore of this show, Casa Amor is the ultimate reality TV loyalty test.
The ultimate destruction of egos.
Exactly. They physically separate the couples and introduce 12 incredibly attractive new people purely to detonate the existing relationships. It creates so much paranoia. And tonight, America voted to send Carl and Amora back into the main villa.
And the tension when they walk through those doors, I mean, you could literally feel the atmospheric pressure drop in the room.
It was suffocating.
It was magnificent television. And I have to give immediate accolades to Amora. She understands the assignment of reality television perfectly.
She really did not hold back.
She did not wait for the dust to settle. She walked in, sat the girls down by the fire pit, and completely demystified the Casa Amor experience. She looked them dead in the eye and called Casa exactly what it was for those men. Summer camp.
A consequence-free playground. I found it so refreshing, honestly, because women on these shows are often pressured to be polite or, like, to protect the men's reputations to avoid looking bitter.
Right, the bitter ex edit.
Exactly. But Amora refused to be a background character in Sincere's fake redemption arc. She systematically detailed exactly what happened. She exposed his entire switch-up, explaining how he used Casa as a literal hall pass.
Bumping and grinding on national television.
Yes. Sharing a bed, being highly intimate, and then he comes back to the main villa and acts like he barely recognizes her. It is such a gross, jarring display of compartmentalization.
It isn't just compartmentalization, though, babes. It is highly calculated damage control. Let's really analyze Sincere's behavioral pattern here.
Please do, because I can't stand him right now.
He plays a very specific, recognizable archetype, the tortured good guy. He feeds these carefully constructed half-truths to Melanie to make himself appear like a soulful man burdened by the weight of a difficult decision.
It's so manipulative.
But the mask completely slips when he pulls Amora for a private chat. This is the moment of the episode for me. He sits down with this stunning woman he was intensely intimate with just days ago, gives her a rigid bro hug, and explicitly calls her big dog. Twice.
I was screaming at my television, "Big dog, are you actually kidding me?"
Literally big dog.
When you look at the linguistics of that, it is so deeply offensive. You were physically tangled up in bed with this woman, whispering sweet nothings, and now you are rebranding her as a frat brother to downplay the sexual connection.
Yep, completely pivoting the dynamic.
It completely strips her of her femininity and their romantic history. The sheer disrespect of trying to rewrite reality right to her face is just appalling to me.
You hit the nail on the head. It is a linguistic defense mechanism. By referring to her as big dog, he is actively trying to desexualize their entire history. Right.
If he treats her like one of the guys playing pickup basketball, he minimizes his own guilt. He is trying to retroactively change the genre of their relationship from a romance to a buddy comedy, and it completely backfired because it just highlighted his absolute cowardice.
He looks so dumb.
He really did. But the true catalyst of this entire narrative arc was Melanie.
Oh, my sweet Melanie. She finally hit her absolute breaking point. You could see the sheer exhaustion in her posture.
She was deflated.
She looks at Sincere and says, "I literally have no energy left inside of me." And then she delivers what I genuinely believe is the thesis statement of the entire season.
That was a good quote.
She looks him in the eye and says, "The prize is not being picked, it's being respected." Bestie, I am getting emotional just thinking about the dignity it takes to articulate that in such a toxic environment.
It is a profound realization, especially within the confines of a dating show where the entire literal premise is to be picked. Exactly. The game is designed to make you feel like surviving a recoupling is a victory. But Melanie is waking up to the reality that being a man's default safety net is not a prize if the cost is your self-worth.
No, it's really not.
She recognizes that Sincere treating her like a convenient option rather than a priority is an insult disguised as loyalty. I really, truly believe she's going to take her power back, turn this around, and demand the respect she deserves.
Okay, my friend, this is where my analytical, cynical heart has to intervene. The quote was brilliant. Put it on a t-shirt, frame it in the Louvre. But let's look at the actual game theory of what Sincere is doing.
Do we have to?
Yes, because Sincere is keeping Melanie around purely as a safety net because he understands the mechanics of the show. He knows that being single makes you vulnerable to being dumped from the island.
Which is so unfair to her.
It is, but so he drip feeds her just enough validation, just enough remorse to prevent her from officially walking away. He is terrified of losing his footing in the villa. Melanie's quote was empowering, but until she physically detaches from him and recouples with someone else, he is going to continue feeding her these calculated half-truths.
Action has to follow the realization.
Exactly.
It breaks my heart to admit it, but you are probably right about his motives. I just want to see her act on it so badly. But speaking of men telling half-truths, we have to pivot to the absolute darkest storyline of the night. We have to unpack Zach.
Zach, the architect of deception.
Yeah.
This transcends typical reality TV F-boy behavior. This is entering the realm of a psychological thriller.
The audacity of this situation is almost hard to comprehend. Like, let's paint the picture for the Snark squad. Zach is sitting on the daybed with Kata. Kata is already feeling incredibly insecure about what Zach did in Casa Amor.
Rightfully so.
And Zach, looking her directly in the eyes with a straight face, says, "If I wanted to, I would have brought her back." He is referring to Alana, the bombshell he was heavily involved with.
Which, if you understand the actual context happening behind the scenes, is a massive, staggering lie. It is a complete fabrication of reality.
It is insane.
For the babes listening who aren't chronically online reading the Reddit threads, Alana was not left in Casa Amor by Zach's noble choice. Alana was physically removed from the production by the network's Human Resources Department because extremely offensive, racist remarks surfaced on her social media from years ago.
So dark.
Zach literally did not have the option to bring her back. She was escorted off the premises.
It makes my blood run cold. It really does. When you analyze the psychology of what he is doing, it is terrifying. He's taking a production-mandated removal, a literal HR crisis, and weaponizing it to construct a narrative where he is a devoted, loyal partner who bravely resisted temptation.
He is stealing valor.
He is stealing valor from a situation he had zero control over. And the absolute tragedy of it is that Kata is eating it up, feeling relieved and validated because she has no access to the truth.
This brings up a fascinating point about how truth operates in a vacuum, though. The genius, and I use that word to mean evil genius, of reality television is the isolation chamber.
Right, they have nothing.
The producers strip these people of their phones, their internet access, their friends, and their ability to fact-check. Zach knows he is operating in an environment where his word is the only available currency. He is relying entirely on the information asymmetry between him and Kata.
It's so manipulative.
It's a microcosm of how real-world gaslighting works when a toxic partner cuts off their victim's support network. If you control the flow of information, you control the reality. Zach is gambling that his fabricated narrative will hold simply because nobody can Google the truth.
I am begging the reality TV gods that Kata sees the truth at movie night. Because they have to show it, right?
I wouldn't hold your breath.
They have to expose the fact that he was fully planning on bringing Alana back before she was removed. They cannot let him get away with this level of psychological manipulation.
I am going to push back on that, bestie, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Production companies are terrified of breaking the fourth wall. To expose Zach's lie during movie night, the producers would have to acknowledge the show's own HR scandal on camera.
Oh, that's true.
They would have to admit that their casting department failed to vet a contestant properly. My prediction. They will edit entirely around Alana's removal. They will maintain the illusion of the show's bubble.
I hate that so much.
They are going to let Zach get away with this fraudulent narrative because protecting the franchise's image is more important to them than vindicating Kaida. Kaida's going to look foolish, and Zach is going to skate right to the finale.
That thought physically upsets me. It is so unfair to her. But while Zach is using calculated silence to manipulate his relationship, we have KC, who is taking a megaphone and actively burning his to the ground.
Oh my God, KC. KC is a walking case study in the Dunning-Kruger effect of dating. He lacks any self-awareness about how deeply unpleasant he is to be around.
The fire pit confrontation between KC and Aniya was honestly exhausting to watch. The defensiveness rolling off of him was palpable. But what really shocked me was his confessional in the beach hut.
I audibly gasped.
He literally looks into the camera and says that now that Carl is back in the villa and I can get off my Dee.
I am sorry, what reality is he living in?
It is the reality of severe, unwarranted arrogance. So let's analyze that statement. Who is he talking to? Aniya has not been aggressively pursuing him. She has not been clinging to him.
Exactly.
He has entirely fabricated this narrative where he is the highly coveted, suffocated prize, and all these women are just burdensome obstacles to his greatness. It is pure main character syndrome. He projects his hostility as a preemptive strike because deep down, his ego cannot handle the possibility of rejection. If he rejects her first, loudly and aggressively, he maintains his false sense of superiority. Well, Aniya, to her immense credit, did not let him control the narrative. She held her ground beautifully. She looked at him and articulated exactly how his behavior impacted her. She told him point blank that he made her feel belittled and small.
She gathered him.
She did. And the absolute cherry on top was when KC, after being completely hostile, has the nerve to ask for one more hug at the end of the conversation to try and smooth things over, and she just drops a flat, unbothered F no.
Iconic.
I was applauding in my living room. That is how you establish a boundary. You do not owe an abrasive man a comforting hug just to ease his conscience.
From a purely dramatic standpoint, the F-no is iconic. It is going to be gift endlessly. However, babes, we have to look at the holistic picture of Aniya's behavior as well.
What do you mean?
She is a highly unreliable narrator. She has a documented pattern of twisting conversations to position herself as the victim. Let's remember history here. Before Casa Amor, she explicitly told KC to do whatever he wants and explore his options. She gave him the green light.
Well, yeah, but she didn't mean it like that.
But she said it. Now that he actually did it, she is furious. KC is undeniably arrogant and handled the situation terribly, but Aniya plays the victim card very strategically. She wants the moral high ground without taking accountability for her mixed signals.
Okay, that is fair. She did give him mixed signals. But any lingering frustration I had with Aniya evaporated the very next morning when Carl swooped in like an absolute gentleman.
Oh, here we go with the romance novel.
This was the palate cleanser I needed. Carl wakes up, goes to the outdoor kitchen, and makes Aniya a beautiful breakfast of eggs and fresh fruit. And then, just to spread the love, he makes Amora a grilled cheese sandwich.
A morning grilled cheese.
A morning grilled cheese. It is so wholesome. It proved to me that chivalry is not entirely dead in that villa. There are still men who want to perform acts of service.
Reel in the romance novel for just a second. I need you to look at the underlying mechanics of Carl's actions. Making eggs is a nice gesture, yes, but let's look at what Carl actually said to Aniya.
He was just being honest.
He looked at her very calmly and stated that his walls are up. He explicitly told her, "I'm not a pick-me type of guy." Babes, that is not romantic banter. That is a verbal warning shot.
Wait, really? You think he's setting her up?
I think Carl's ego is severely bruised. We have to remember that Aniya rejected him at the previous recoupling on national television. That stings. He is playing it cool, he is making the eggs, but he is fundamentally embarrassed by how things played out previously.
I didn't even think about that.
By stating his walls are up, he is regaining the upper hand. He is telling her that she now has to work for his affection. I am warning you. From a behavioral standpoint, Carl might explore other options with the incoming bombshells strictly to humble Aniya and make her realize the value of what she temporarily threw away. It is an ego preservation tactic.
I reject this reality. I want them to work it out so badly. When they're laughing together, the chemistry is just undeniable. They look so good together. Why can't we just accept a nice breakfast as a nice breakfast?
Because in an environment built on social strategy, breakfast is never just breakfast. It is a chess move. But let's pivot from breakfast chess to absolute, unadulterated chaos. Because while Aniya is slowly losing her grip on her options, Kenzie is systematically hoarding every single man in the villa.
We have to talk about the speakeasy spiral. This was truly a whirlwind of bad decisions.
A masterclass in mess.
Let's set the stage chronologically. First, Corbin and Parmita have a chat and officially decide to close things off. They are exclusive, they take a romantic shower together, they are locked in, which means Corbin has to go clean up his mess with Kenzie.
And he handled it terribly.
He pulls Kenzie for what can only be described as a half-hearted, dismissive non-apology for leading her on during Casa Amor. Kenzie is, understandably, absolutely furious that she wasted prime reality TV real estate on him.
And she has every right to be furious. Corbin utilized Kenzie purely as a vacation romance. He was incredibly lustful during Casa, sold her a dream to secure his spot back in the main villa, and then immediately pivoted back to Parmita when the safety of his original couple became apparent.
It was so shady.
He used her as a buffer. But Kenzie is not the type of person to sit around and cry over spilt milk. She immediately reroutes her chaotic energy. Which brings us to the most baffling man on television, Gal.
Oh my goodness, Gal. I genuinely feel terrible for Jen in this situation. Gal pulls Jen aside to formally end their pairing, and the language he uses is so deeply manipulative.
It's hard to watch.
He has the audacity to call Jen aggressive. Why? Because she was asking for basic, fundamental human affection. He claims he isn't a touchy-feely PDA guy. He took it to such an extreme that when they shared a pity kiss, he literally took a decorative throw pillow and placed it over their faces to hide it.
It is the most balding, Venice Beach, Peter Pan behavior I have ever witnessed in my life. Let's break down the psychology of what Gal is doing to Jen. He is dealing with a severe avoidant attachment style combined with a profound lack of emotional maturity.
Totally.
Instead of just admitting that he isn't romantically interested in Jen, which would make him the bad guy, he gaslights her. He frames her very normal desire for intimacy as an aggressive demand. He makes her feel like she is doing something wrong by wanting her partner to hold her hand. It is incredibly toxic.
It really is, and Jen handled it with such incredible grace. She didn't yell, she didn't cry, she just accepted it and walked away. But here is where the story goes from sad to absolutely hypocritical.
Oh, the hypocrisy is rich.
5 minutes, literally, mathematically, 5 minutes after Gal tells Jen that he abhors PDA and has to hide behind a throw pillow, what does he do?
He takes Kenzie by the hand, leads her up the stairs to the hidden speakeasy area, and aggressively, passionately makes out with her in broad daylight.
The whiplash I got from that, it was staggering.
Because it proves the cardinal rule of dating, both on television and in the real world. When someone says, I'm just not a PDA person, what they actually mean is, I am not a PDA person with you.
Oh, that hurts, but it's true.
Gal doesn't hate intimacy. He just didn't want it with Jen, and he lacked the spine to say it honestly. And Kenzie is just eating it up like it's a buffet.
Kenzie is operating a full rotating roster right now. She is officially coupled up with Dylan. Sweet, kind Dylan, who literally brought her breakfast in bed that very same morning. But she is sneaking off to kiss Gal in the speakeasy.
And her reasoning is flawless.
When she is asked why she is drawn to Gal, her actual reasoning is he owns a coffee shop and a surf shop. That is her metric for romance.
I have to admit, as an analyst of chaos, I deeply respect Kenzie's absolute unapologetic villain energy. She does not care about the moral high ground. She does not care about hurting feelings. She is treating the villa like an all-inclusive resort, and she is going back to the buffet for fourths.
She really is.
She understands that screen time is the true currency of Love Island, and she is printing money right now. And of course, the ecosystem of the villa immediately corrects itself because messy Zach happens to walk by, sees the kiss, and immediately sprints downstairs to maliciously snitch on Kenzie to Dylan.
It is so tragic for the men involved. Like, Caleb was a genuinely nice guy who got dumped. Dylan is a nice guy currently being played for a fool. Kenzie is just playing in their faces.
She is leaving a trail of destruction.
My optimistic heart wants to believe that Kenzie is just confused and genuinely searching for a real connection. But the reality is she is just leaving a massive trail of broken hearts and spilled coffee beans in her wake.
Let's not romanticize her motives, babes. She is looking for a storyline, and she is orchestrating it brilliantly.
Well, amidst all the lying, the speakeasy swapping, and the absolute destruction of trust, there was one beacon of light. One couple actually managed to lock it down tonight. Trinity has officially set sail.
Oh, please spare me.
Do not groan at romance. Let me set the scene for the Snark squad. Bryce and Trinity finally get a text for the very first outside date of the season. And production spared no expense. It was breathtaking.
It was highly produced, yes.
They are riding jet skis on the crystal blue ocean. They pull up to a private luxury yacht. There was champagne flowing. The sun is setting. And then Bryce looks at Trinity, gives this beautiful speech, and officially asks her to be his girlfriend. Not just exclusive in the villa, but actual real-world boyfriend and girlfriend.
It was a transaction.
I was swooning on my couch. It was pure romance. In my eyes, they are the obvious, undeniable winners of this season.
Bestie, I completely, fundamentally, and aggressively disagree with your entire assessment of that situation.
How can you look at a man asking a woman to be his girlfriend on a yacht and find a problem with it? Let them be happy.
Because I am looking at the math and you are looking at a fairy tale. This is not a romance. This is a corporate merger. Let's look at the data points. Look at Bryce. Bryce is 30 years old. He is a grown man with life experience.
Right, he's mature.
Throughout this entire season, he has shown zero visceral, chaotic emotion. He has never lost his temper. He has never been wildly passionate. He's been a flat line of pleasant consistency. He has clearly formula. And most importantly, he knows that Trinity is the undeniable fan favorite. The public loves her.
So you think he is just using her for her popularity? That is so cynical.
I think he is mathematically calculating his way to that $100,000 prize money. It is game theory. He looked at Trinity's social capital, he looked at the production calendar, and he realized that locking down the most popular girl in the villa at this exact moment maximizes their Q4 shareholder returns.
Stop calling it a merger.
The pacing of the proposal is too perfect. He knows the finale is approaching. There is no messy passion here. It is a strategic alliance between two conventionally attractive people who know exactly how to play the game.
A corporate merger. I cannot accept this level of cynicism. When they reunited after Casa Amor, they were both crying about how much they missed each other. You don't think any of those tears were genuine? You don't think two people in a beautiful environment can just genuinely fall in love?
I think he genuinely wants to win. I think the environment accelerates attachment, sure, but Bryce is operating with a level of PR training that is impossible to ignore. He is managing his image, and securing the girlfriend title guarantees them the winning vote. It is strictly business.
Well, I'm choosing to believe in love. But since you brought up the business of the villa, it is the perfect time to pivot to the analytical side of things.
Let's do it.
Looking at all this madness, we have to talk about who actually holds the power in that villa right now. Let's do our villa power rankings. After tonight's absolute circus, who is sitting at the strongest position and who is at the absolute bottom of the barrel?
I will start with the strongest. And ironically, despite my corporate merger thesis, Trinity is undeniably at the absolute top of the power rankings right now. Power in the villa is a combination of social capital, producer favor, and couple security.
True, she has all of that.
She has a best edit of the season by far. She's now officially in a titled relationship, and let's be honest, she is carrying Bryce to the finale on her back. She is untouchable right now.
I agree. Trinity is the strongest, although I still maintain Bryce is contributing to that dynamic. I am also putting Parmita in the strongest category. She navigated the Casa Amor chaos perfectly, she successfully got Corbin to close things off, and now they are flying completely under the radar.
Exactly. They are just chilling.
While everyone else is screaming by the fire pit and kissing in the speakeasy, they are just relaxing. That kind of drama-free stability is a very strong position to be in as we head toward the finale.
Absolutely. Now, for the weakest, this is not even a debate. KC is at the very bottom of the barrel. His power ranking is in the negative integers.
Oh, completely.
He is single, he has alienated his romantic prospects, he is actively hostile to the women, and he is almost universally disliked by the viewing public. There is no reality TV redemption arc coming for him. He has dug his grave, and he is currently laying in it.
Totally agree on KC. The hostility is his downfall. I also have to put Sincere in the weakest category. His carefully constructed house of cards is completely collapsing. Amora is loudly exposing his Casa behavior to anyone who will listen. His half-truths are catching up to him, and Melanie is completely drained and vocalizing her exhaustion.
His safety net is framed.
He has bankrupted his social capital. The facade is gone.
Now, here is where we have a philosophical debate about what constitutes power on reality TV, Kenzie. Where does Kenzie rank?
To me, Kenzie is incredibly weak. Everyone in the villa has caught on to her game. Corbin shut her down. The girls are whispering about her chaotic behavior. Zach is actively snitching on her to Dylan.
See, I disagree.
She is burning bridges so fast that she is running out of islands to stand on. Emotionally and socially, she is on thin ice.
This is where we differ. I think Kenzie is incredibly strong. You are measuring power by social harmony. I am measuring power by narrative control. Kenzie is driving the entire plot of the show right now.
That's true. She is everywhere.
Love Island requires a villain to function. It requires chaos to keep the audience engaged. Kenzie is single-handedly providing the conflict. She might not win the prize money, but she is securing her spot on our screens, ensuring her post-show influencer deals, and guaranteeing she gets cast on a spinoff. Production knows she delivers the mess, which makes her highly valuable to the franchise.
That is a very strategic way to look at it, and you make a fair point about her narrative value. But her interpersonal relationships are a disaster, which brings up an interesting thought experiment. When you look at how these islanders behave on television, it makes you wonder what they are like in the real world.
Oh, I think about this all the time.
If we somehow got a hold of their phones right now and unlocked them, what are their digital secrets? Like, what is Kenzie's digital footprint?
Oh, this is easy. If we bypass Kenzie's lock screen right now, her last Google search is undeniably local independent coffee shop owners near me. Or, alternatively, how to date two men simultaneously without them accessing each other's Instagram stories.
Oh my God, yes.
She is absolutely doing reconnaissance on small business owners to see who can best fund her lifestyle and caffeine addiction.
She is running background checks on surf shop revenue, for sure. Okay, what about Gal? If we look at Gal's phone, what is his most used emoji?
It has to be the shushing emoji, the little yellow face with the finger over the mouth, or the zipped lips emoji.
It is so fitting. It perfectly represents him literally putting a throw pillow over Jen's face to hide a kiss and trying to keep Kenzie a secret upstairs in the speakeasy. He is the undisputed king of the hush-hush, sneaky link. He operates entirely in the shadows.
It's his entire brand. Covert narcissism summarized in a single pixelated image. Okay, let's analyze Zach. We open Zach's camera roll. What is the most embarrassing saved photo or video taking up his storage?
I can picture this vividly. It is a 4-minute selfie video of him practicing his lies in the mirror. He definitely sets up his ring light in his bedroom, hits record, and practices delivering the line, "If I wanted to, I would brought her back."
He's literally doing rehearsals.
He watches it back to make sure his eye contact is steady, and his facial expression looks convincingly sad enough to manipulate Kata.
He absolutely does multiple takes of his own apologies. He watches the playback and thinks, wait, that didn't look genuine enough. Let me try squeezing out a single tear on this next take. He is producing and directing his own life.
It's so scary.
Finally, let's look at KC. What is the very last text message he sent to the outside world before production confiscated his phone?
It was definitely a massive group chat text to his boys back home, and it said something like, "Just letting you know, I am the main character wherever I go. Watch me work. I'm going to roll that villa."
And it has aged like milk left in the sun. He truly, deeply believed he was going to walk onto that set, act with complete hostility, have every woman swoon over his abrasive alpha male persona, and walk out a hero.
So delusional.
The delusion is staggering. These digital footprints fit their toxic traits so perfectly.
They really do. And honestly, looking at these toxic traits, if this villa were an actual workplace, the liability would be astronomical. Let's pretend for a moment that we are the Human Resources Department for Love Island.
God help us all.
If we were tasked with handling the absolute lack of professionalism occurring, how are we managing this staff? Let's start with the positive. Who is receiving a promotion?
I will happily sign the paperwork for this. Jen is getting promoted to a senior management role.
Absolutely. Jen handled a highly toxic workplace environment, specifically Gal calling her aggressive for wanting basic affection, with total grace. She didn't scream, she didn't lose her composure, she didn't create a scene in the break room.
She was a professional.
She simply realized she was dodging a massive combo-over-having bullet, and she gracefully exited the situation. She demonstrated excellent emotional regulation under pressure.
She is a model employee. Now, on the disciplinary side, who is receiving a formal written warning for their file? Kenzie. I am writing her up for blatant time theft and unauthorized moonlighting.
Though she's in trouble.
She is leading on her colleagues Caleb and Dylan, stringing them along while actively interviewing for a position at Gal's Surf Shop on company time. It is a conflict of interest and a total HR nightmare.
Consider the warning filed. Now, we have a few candidates who desperately need intervention, but who are we sending to mandatory communication training? I have to assign KC. His hostile get-off-my-D comment, directed at a female colleague in the workplace, is a textbook violation of conduct.
Oh, massive violation.
He needs an intensive multi-day seminar on how to articulate his feelings without resorting to aggression and profanity.
I co-sign that. And I am simultaneously assigning Zach to mandatory communication training for corporate fraud and lying by omission regarding the Alana situation.
Cook the training room.
You cannot withhold critical company information, like the fact that someone was escorted off the premises by security to manipulate your performance review and make yourself look like Employee of the Month to CADA. It is deceptive practice.
Okay, what about immediate vacation or bland-dated PTO?
Melanie, without hesitation.
We are in complete agreement here. Look at the woman. She looks physically, mentally, and emotionally depleted. Sincere has acted as an energy vampire and completely drained her life force.
Get her out of there.
She needs an immediate week away at a wellness retreat in a hammock with 0 men allowed within a 50-mile radius.
Request approved. Give her double PTO and a stipend for therapy. And finally, to wrap up our HR duties, who is our Employee of the Week?
I am giving the Employee of the Week plaque to Carl for waking up early, assessing the low morale in the villa after a highly stressful recoupling, and taking the initiative to make eggs, fresh fruit, and a grilled cheese for his female colleagues. It was sweet, it was considerate, and it boosted company morale.
Fine, I will approve it and print the certificate. But I want it on the record that I am only allowing this because the behavioral bar in that villa is currently buried somewhere near the Earth's core.
It is a very low bar, but we celebrate small victories. Speaking of evaluating worth, let's move into our final analytical exercise. The villa stock market.
Let's talk numbers.
If we are treating these islanders' social capital like financial assets, what are your projections? Who is your pick for a skyrocketing stock?
I know you praised him for the breakfast initiative in HR, but I actually agree that Carl's stock is skyrocketing. However, it is not because of the eggs. His stock is surging because he established a firm boundary.
The walls up comment.
Exactly. By telling Aniya his walls are up and explicitly stating he refuses to be puck-me, he demonstrated self-respect. In a marketplace saturated with desperation, setting boundaries makes him look incredibly high value to the viewing audience. Investors love stability and self-worth.
That makes perfect sense. For me, whose stock completely crashed and burned tonight, it has to be Sincere. The market has completely bottomed out on him.
Oh, completely bankrupt.
His half-truths have officially bankrupted his relationship with Melanie, and the general public is actively selling their shares. The moment he called Amora big dog to her face, it triggered a massive sell-off. He is in a social depression.
A total economic collapse for Sincere. Now let's look at the futures market. Who is your sleeper pick to go all the way and potentially win this thing?
I am stubbornly holding on to my shares in Aniya and Carl. If they can manage to get over their massive bruised egos, and if Carl can slowly lower those walls he just put up, they have the undeniable organic chemistry required to make a late-game surge straight to the finale. They just need to get out of their own way.
You and your relentless fairy tales. My sleeper pick is Corbin and Parmita. They are the ultimate dark horse investment. Look at the landscape. While Kenzie, Zach, KC, and Sincere are actively setting the entire villa on fire and destroying their public perception, Corbin and Parmita are just quietly taking showers together, minding their business and compounding their relationship equity.
Just floating to the end.
Exactly. They could easily sneak into the finale by simply surviving while everyone else burns out. It is a slow, steady yield.
That is a highly strategic, low-risk investment. I can see that happening. Okay, before we wrap this up, give me your ridiculous prediction. Give me something absolutely unhinged that probably won't happen, but technically could.
Babes, I am telling you, I am predicting that during movie night tomorrow, the producers are going to snap. They are going to completely shatter the fourth wall.
Wait, what do you mean, like how?
Yeah, they are going to play the high-definition footage of Zach passionately kissing Alana in Casa Amor, and instead of editing around her disappearance, they are literally going to overlay Ian Sterling's booming voiceover right over the kiss.
Shit.
He's going to say Alana has been removed from the villa. I predict Kaida is going to completely short-circuit, realizing she was lied to, and it will be broadcast on national television.
Oh my God, I would lose my mind. I would physically fall off my boucle sofa if they actually did that.
Yeah.
It is so chaotic. It breaks every rule of reality TV production, but I want it to happen so badly. It would be justice.
It would transcend reality TV. It would be pure cinema.
Absolute, unadulterated cinema. Well, Snark Squad, that officially brings us to the end of tonight's spiral. We have analyzed the psychology, we have reviewed the HR files, and we have projected the stock market. But now, we desperately need to hear from you. Get in the comments, hit us up on socials, because we have questions that need answers.
First, when you look at the strategy we discussed, which Islander do you think is secretly playing the best game? Is it Kenzie with her chaotic screen time grabbing roster, or is it Bryce with his highly calculated corporate merger proposal? Who is the real mastermind?
Also, if you were dropped into that villa tomorrow, who would you actually want as your bestie to sit by the fire pit and drink mojitos with? Because looking at the landscape right now, I think Jen desperately needs a loyal friend and a very strong cocktail after that throw pillow incident.
And finally, taking all of this psychological analysis into account, which couple actually has a real statistical chance of surviving outside the villa in the real world? Or are they all completely doomed the absolute second they get their cell phones back and regain access to the internet?
We want all your messy, analytical takes. Thank you, babes, so much for hanging out with us, drinking with us, and surviving another absolute roller coaster of an episode of Villa Madness. We appreciate you more than you know.
You guys are the absolute best. Please remember to subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, and share this recap with another messy, reality TV-obsessed friend in your life who needs to spiral with us.
We love you guys. Stay flirty.
Stay delusional.
And we'll see you on the Snark side.